If you've ever dreamed of owning a second home or a vacation rental in a charming artist community, Nashville, Indiana might just be your perfect destination. Nashville is a unique town that is located about 20 minutes east of Bloomington, Indiana, which is home to Indiana University. The town is known for its artists and its proximity to outdoor adventures. It's located about 5 minutes from Brown County State Park, which is Indiana's oldest state park. It is a tourist destination. You can meet and see all kinds of art here, whether you're looking for sculptures or paintings or stoneware. You can find it in Nashville. And Nashville is also a hot spot for some really nice little restaurants that give you that whole Nashville artistic community laid back vibe. So this is a destination that you definitely want to look at if you are looking to purchase a second home for a vacation rental. Coming right up. Nashville is known as the art colony of the Midwest. It is a very cool little town, and honestly, I was born and raised in Bloomington and have always gone to Nashville. It's just a kind of a fun spot to meet friends for lunch or just to go shopping for the day, because you're always going to find some kind of cute little memento that you can pick up there. And the one thing I will say about it, the town just has not changed in the last 50 years. So there's always some of the same restaurants that when I was little, they're still there, like the Hobnob or the Brown County Inn. And then there's some new restaurants like the Bird's Nest, which is one of my favorite, and they offer vegetarian options if you are vegetarian or vegan. A lot of times it's hard to find things like that in a tourist destination because they're focusing on ribs and Brown County rolls and apple butter and all the things that maybe a vegetarian wouldn't want to eat. So there's that to keep in mind. But this town is just set up for people coming to visit, and there's a lot of tourists there. So the high season is in the summer and the fall, and in the spring. The winter, it kind of is laid back and the shops aren't open as much as they would be during the spring, summer, and fall. So what attracts people to Nashville are the leaves, the changing of the leaves. Now, people will come in the spring because it's very beautiful with all the flowers blooming. You know, they're wanting to get out after winter. And then the summer is just a great time to go shopping in Nashville. They have little festivals that go on, things like that. But the fall is when all the places are completely booked because the leaves peak, say, mid-October usually. And they have got those, all the vacation rentals and little inns are all completely booked up. There's a couple of hotels in Nashville, the inn at the state park, and then there's a couple other little hotels. There's that, but there's a lot of different vacation rentals around town. And there's a Brown County Music Center, which is bringing in a lot of great talent from all over. And so people like to go there and then perhaps stay overnight or for a couple nights in Nashville, because getting back to Bloomington, you're on a 2-lane road. It's very dark. And sometimes if they've been drinking alcohol or whatever, they might just want to stay in Nashville overnight. So there's that. If you're going to do a vacation rental, this is probably the place to do it, because there's so much going on in Nashville that you'll have good occupancy throughout the year. The other thing about Nashville is its proximity to Indianapolis. It's just less than an hour away, and it is 20 minutes to Columbus, Indiana, and 20 minutes to Bloomington. So there's all those great things, and if probably about an hour and a half to Cincinnati. So it just makes it really convenient for weekend getaways. Now, the kind of housing that you're going to find in Nashville is it's going to be a rustic vibe. Log cabins are very, very popular in Nashville. And you're not going to see any cookie cutter type neighborhoods in Nashville at all. So they're all unique. There's some mid-century modern, there's some contemporary houses, and there are just a lot of houses with wood is the best way I can describe it. Log cabins, just rustic wood houses. And then there's Brown County stone, and a lot of the fireplaces reflect this Brown County stone. It's kind of a sandstone, and it's just very distinctive of what Brown County is. It's just a really good place to get back to nature and recharge after a long week. A lot of the vacation homes offer hot tubs to relax, and there's just all kinds of things that you can do with a vacation home. But I will say that you do not want to set up a vacation home without having a plan. Tourism is thriving in Nashville, so you definitely want to have a plan, and you do not want to set up a vacation home without having that in place, because I have known people that have done that, and Brown County has shut them down because they didn't adhere to strict regulations, and they do have strict regulations for it. So some of the regulations that you definitely want to keep in mind is your property has to be at least 250 feet from a neighboring property. If it's less than that, they're not going to let you do a vacation rental there. So ideally, you will already find a house that's been operating as a vacation rental, and you can purchase it that way because they've already come up to Brown County standards. Now, some of the standards are zoning compliance. So if they are a tourist home, they have to comply with local regulations. And it has to be in a zone permitting tourist home use. Now, you can find more at that at browncounty-in.gov. I'll put the link below. The other thing is it has to meet safety requirements, and that would be a smoke detector on each level and one in every bedroom. The vacation home is used as a homestay. It has to follow the occupation regulations, and you will find this all on their website, the Brown County zoning ordinance. And you also have to get a short-term rental permit and adhere to certain requirements. So your property would have to be up to code, and they will come out and check that. And operational standards, it has to be maintained in a manner that does not create a safety or fire hazard or a health hazard. So those are the guidelines that you have to keep. But like I said, if you find one that's already a vacation rental, that's your best option, and you don't have to jump through all those hoops. Otherwise, you've got to adhere to these guidelines. You need to talk to the Brown County planning and the Brown County zoning to get everything approved before you would go through with a purchase. So like I said, people have done that without doing that, and then they've had to turn around and sell their properties because they weren't wanting to live there full time. They live out of state and operate a vacation rental. The best places for vacation rental are in a proximity to downtown Nashville or Brown County State Park. Because like I said, there are a ton of people that come to Brown County State Park in the fall. You can barely get into the state park. We went last fall, right when the leaves were changing, and people were parked everywhere. The County State Park draws thousands of visitors every year. There's all kinds of things to do. You can kayak, you can mountain bike, you can hike. They have all kinds of hiking trails. They have these incredible vistas where you can look out and see all the leaves changing color, and you don't see any type of buildings around. So it's really beautiful. And like I said, it's only like 5 minutes to downtown Nashville and 15 minutes from the park entrance. It's like 15 minutes to Bloomington. So if you've got kids that are going to IU or you're affiliated with Indiana University, there's tons of restaurants over in Bloomington, and you just want to check out the Bloomington College Town vibe. That's very, very close. So you will not run out of things to do if you're spending a long weekend in Nashville or even a week in Nashville. So if you did run out of things to do, if Bloomington wasn't enough for you and Nashville wasn't enough for you, you've got Indianapolis, just not that far of a drive away. So you will always have something to do. Now, the thing that you want to consider when you're buying a property for a second home, you want to consider the rustic charm of it. How charming is it? How much maintenance are you going to have to do on it? Are you going to need to put a hot tub in? I would suggest you do put a hot tub in outside, just because that is a key factor that people are looking for when they're coming to Nashville to relax and unwind. I know my husband and I have done lots of staycations in Nashville, and we're always looking for a place with a hot tub just to chill out. The other thing is fireplaces. Now, you need to check with Brown County owning the fireplaces if you can use that. And if you can't use a fireplace, you definitely need to set up a fire pit and make sure that that is all code and everything, that it's not going to catch anything on fire. So you want to really look at that and be sure and build a fire pit. You don't know how people are going to treat your property, right? So you just want to make sure that you've got all that in place so you don't have any incidents. Finding the right property is key to maximizing your enjoyment and your investment. And if you live out of state, you might want to consider a property management service. So that way you don't have to deal with all the headaches of a rental, setting up the cleaning, setting up the bookings, dealing with coming and checking in and asking a ton of questions. A property management service will do all of that for you. Other thing is, invest in high quality photos. I don't know how many properties I've looked at and the photos suck because they don't turn on the lights. They do it with a cell phone camera. And not that a cell phone camera is bad. I'm actually filming with a cell phone camera right now, but you've got to have the correct lighting. You can't just take pictures of your vacation rental without any lights turned on. Turn all the lights on to take pictures. I don't care if it's a sunny day. Turn all the lights on and show that. Take some great pictures. Invest in a real estate photographer, for goodness sakes. It's well worth the money and the return on investment that you're going to get by advertising those properties on Airbnb or VRBO or any of the other short-term rentals. You definitely want to plan out, have a guidebook of things for people to do and whatnot, any type of coupons that you can get to different restaurants, maybe partner with a restaurant to get kind of discount, and then you're serving your neighbors there as well. So those are things that you might want to consider when you're looking to invest in a short-term rental. So are you ready to explore some short-term rentals to purchase? Call and I will get you set up on a search and you can find something that suits your needs. Come back next week, I'll have a new video out.